The Truth About Zombies. This is actually, this is one of my Whistlinphil reviewy things where I'm talking about a movie that I just watched, and I'm, picking out my parts. That's how Whistlinphil does things. It's a 2010 documentary that was on National Geographic called Truth About Zombies. I found it on Netflix when I was surfing around, and I watched it, and it was pretty interesting. The two major main aspects of this, the scientific, where we're looking at the brain chemistry and the viruses and stuff, and then the spiritual aspect, the voodoo and hypnosis. They use a hypnosis thing, I think, to control people. Yeah. Okay. So, biologically, to react the way zombies do in movies, there would have to be some extensive brain damage. They pointed the parts, the cerebellum. If the cerebellum was damaged, then you wouldn't get, you'd get really jerky, shuffling movements, because I don't know, it controls stuff like that. And the whole idea of killing the brain, there's something in the brainstem that controls the basic living functions like breathing and heartbeat and stuff like that, which I don't think most Hollywood zombies have a heartbeat. I'm not sure, because I'm not that big on the stuff, but rabies does something similar, where some of the muscles lock up, violent behavior, stuff like that, but it has a 1 to 3 month incubation cycle. But it could be, this lady, this virologist, she was saying if someone put the genetic material from the flu and mixed it with the genetic material from rabies, and at least one virus passes from other animals to humans every year. I'm like, whoa, that's... But the idea that could possibly... Man, people are gonna mess this up. They're gonna do it. If they can, they will. Okay, the second aspect, though, the mind control with hypnosis and voodoo. It's a spiritual / mind thing. They are just slaves. And there are a lot of people who believe, in the Haitian voodoo priests and priestesses believe that it's possible to turn people into slaves. And there was this guy, a hypnotherapist, who he had his patient slow down his heartbeat. He had him go stiff as a board, all this stuff. He said, but I couldn't make a zombie because he didn't believe it. But if he lived in a culture where the subject believes it possible, it could happen. It could make a zombie, make a mind slave of sorts. And that's kind of creepy, because a lot of people worldwide now believe in zombies. I'm thinking, well, what I think of the most, Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, The Walking Dead, Z Nation, where they're violent and bloodthirsty, but they're also you know, besides cannibalistic. They're really bloody. It's not mind control. It's something else. So it's like an infection. So what's to stop some, I think, stupid, just because it can be done doesn't mean it should be done, some virologist in a lab making a cocktail out of the flu and HIV and rabies, because HIV can sit in the body for like 20 years until boom, it becomes AIDS, and it's a immune virus. What if the zombie virus is some kind of immune virus? It could sit in the body until it's triggered by death. So we could all be infected, theoretically. And the bottom line from this movie, at the end, there's this guy, there's actually a zombie society, and it's not a bunch of weirdos. I mean, they're really thinking about the outbreak in a realistic term, and how he put it makes sense. I'm gonna paraphrase because I'm not really great about remembering, and I didn't write it down. Hollywood zombie outbreaks are not very likely, but the zombie apocalypse is a metaphor for man-made and natural disasters that do befall humanity all the time. And it's survival scenarios. We've got to look at survival scenarios. This guy, I'll really end up when I talk about this guy. He studies how society would react, particularly in Los Angeles, because that's where he was and that's what they're filming. But like, for instance, Los Angeles doesn't have a water supply. They don't have a river. It's piped over the mountains. It's a desert. He says, you know, if there was a disaster of some sort and that water in the mountains, that irrigation is cut off, then people will run out of water and need water within days or less. And he pointed out something. If there is a major virus of some sort and it strikes, like, he was in an outdoor market, he's like, look at all the food here, and we all come, if it happens in suburbia, we won't know how to eat. I mean, we can't prepare our own food. We don't grow our own food. He's like, if it hits a market like that, there goes our food supply. And this, taking off of some things, the walkers aren't the ones to fear, the people are. They're scary. You know, in Walking Dead, we see how scary people have become, because they go crazy and band together, and they're still very violent, and that's our nature, is violence. So we'll go back to nature in a lot of ways. Scary stuff. The truth about zombies. If you have Netflix, look it up. It's really worth it. It's really, really worth it.